Hey guys, this is Chaney77, coach of the Brisbane Heat Trans, here with round one of the playoffs in the Hive. Just to give you guys a quick recap of what happened in the last 2 weeks of the season. We actually were guaranteed playoffs at the end of week 8. So the last 2 weeks I actually brought a few memes. That is because both of my last two opponents were probably going to the playoffs. One of them were guaranteed. So the last 2 weeks I went up against Nada and Paladin, and both were, both ended up being in the playoffs. So I didn't want to reveal my, go-to tactics or plan A, especially against Nada, because his matchup against mine is really, really good. So we actually pulled Nada first. So we're going up against his team, the Memphis Guzzlords, and his team consists of Zapdos, Infernape, Serena, Greninja, Tyrantrum, Vaporeon, Alakazam, Granbull, Snorlax, Megasteelix, and Weezing. With Granbull being his Z status user. So yeah, just a lot of things that just wall all of my things. So Zapdos comes in and checks Garchomp very reliably, especially with Charty Berry. Scarf Chomp is almost not able, it checks Scarf Chomp very well. Infernape just blows my team to pieces. I don't really have a reliable switch in. Yeah, because Jellicent is 2-hit KO'd by Thunder Punch. Serena is thankfully something that I'm not expecting, purely because his other threats, like Greninja I actually don't have a switch into. I kind of have to make one up. Tyrantrum is also super scary, but I don't expect to come because just the other mons are just so much better, but wouldn't be surprised if I saw it. Vaporeon, he didn't bring Vaporeon the last time, so I think first time round he brought Zapdos, Infernape, Greninja, Granbull, Megasteelix, and Snorlax. So he didn't bring the Vaporeon. Understandable, but also Vaporeon can be used to check Garchomp. But I do think, if you did want to bring a fatter team, I would, expect to see Vaporeon. Zam's really nice just to revenge kill stuff. It outspeeds everything but Crobat, so it can revenge kill something and then get out, and he can go into one of his walls because he has a wall for every one of my mons. Next, Granbull once again there can be used to check all my physical attackers. Chomp being the biggest threat that he can check. Snorlax is there for all my special attackers, so Volcarona, Diancie. If I bring special Diancie, and then I think Granbull can check my physical Diancie. But then he has Megasteelix as well, and Weezing, which Megasteelix can sort of check, or can check physical Diancie as well. And Weezing I don't really expect to come, basically because it does the same thing as Zapdos but doesn't get recovery. But it does get to use T-Spikes, which could be interesting niche if he chooses to go that way. On my team, things that I can't bring, Volcarona. Can't really bring Volcarona because it's just free Snorlax. I guess I could play around it, but I don't really have the most reliable ways of breaking Snorlax to begin with. Maybe if I had Chestnut or a fighting type, then I might have been able to bring it. just on some aggressive doubles, things like that. What else? Sizzle. I don't think I could have brought Sizzle because Zapdos, Mega Steelix, Scramble, not Gramble, Weezing kind of just check Sizzle really well. Jellicent is a bit of a momentum drain, to be honest, though it can be fairly useful to check things like Tyrantrum, but Jellicent's kind of free Zapdos, so it doesn't really help me, and I don't really have the greatest Zapdos switch-ins. Drapion. Drapion's a possibility because T-Spikes is really nice against him. He doesn't have a poison type that's on the ground, so T-Spikes, if I get them up, will not be soaked up unless he defogs them away. And Taurus just doesn't hit hard enough, so kind of left with like six or seven mons to choose from. And first one we have here is Diancie. So Diancie, bringing mixed attacking Diancie, Moonblast, Diamond Storm, Earth Power, Psychic. I thought about Rock Polish, but you know, Water Shuriken Greninja just does so much to me anyway. I didn't really think I would ever get it off, so decided to put Moonblast on instead, just so that I can secure, like, just so that I don't have to risk Diamond Storm. And then we got Diamond Storm, which is able to 2-hit KO the Snorlax and Vaporeon after rocks, I believe. Earth Power is there for Mega Steelix, and Psychic for the Weezing. As you can see, I'm not actually running much speed. That is because I need all the power I can get. And Speedy Zapdos is something that I'm just going to have to live with. Looking at how Nada has played throughout the season, he hasn't really brought fast Zapdos, so I'm comfortable with risking it, because I don't think, if I bring in Diancie on a Zapdos, I don't think he's going to be staying in anyway, so I can sort of bluff fast Diancie and sort of see if I can catch him with some extra power. So that was the thought behind that. Next we have Scarf Chomp. Adamant Scarf Chomp, because his speed tiers are a little bit bad. Once again, pretty much ignoring Scarf Zapdos, so creeping, I believe, Tyrantrum instead. Outrage, Earthquake, Poison Jab, Stone Edge, fairly, you know, self-explanatory. Only really going to be clicking Earthquake. The other moves are just fillers. But I guess I need Chomp's checks out of the way. So Chomp's checks include Gramble, some Pride Chip on Vaporeon, some get rid of Zapdos, and break Sam's Sash, and get rid of Weezing. So quite a few things, but I don't expect Weezing to come, so that's one of them gone. And then, so basically the whole team is just built around getting rid of Scarf Chomp's checks, and then just clicking EQ and winning. The SPDF investment here is for Expert Belt Zapdos. It can live Expert Belt Zapdos HP Ice. Yes, and I can hit it with a Stone Edge. Next we got Crobat. So Crobat is there to pressure Gramble, also there to catch a Zapdos, which is thinking he can live a Sludge Bomb. Pull out the Poisonium Z on him and just bop him with, and just be able to eliminate Zapdos. So Zapdos can actually take a +2 Sludge Bomb with I believe just max HP. So and yeah, minimal SPDEF investment. So hopefully, if I can get Crobat to +2, Z Sludge Bomb will just be able to wipe out Zapdos and one of Garchomp's checks, which is pretty awesome. Also need Crobat here because it's the only thing that outspeeds Greninja, and you know, part of my team is built around not letting Greninja in for free, and because otherwise it just wreaks havoc. So yes, I really needed to bring Crobat. I wanted to be modest, but I just didn't want to risk the fact that he could be max speed Greninja. Didn't feel like it was worth the risk, so just went with creeping Greninja there. Giga Drain is for the Vaporeon, and Heat Waves for the Mega Steelix. Also, this is once again the only other thing that's faster than Zam, so need to use this to break Zam's sash if I can. Next we have Heliolisk with the Assault Vest. So this is my made up Greninja check. It's thankfully immune to those water stabs, but it is 3-hit KO'd by Dark Pulse, Life Orb Dark Pulse. I think if he gets up rocks, then I think I'm still able to live 2 specs Dark Pulses. But yes, this is my initial switch into Greninja. So hopefully, if Diancie gets a kill and he brings in Greninja to revenge kill it, I can just drop this in very safely, soak up the water attack. The coverage is very minimal, purely because I only really needed this to check Greninja, and that was just its main job. T-Bolt Focus Blast hit his entire team, at least neutrally, and then Pivot, because that's all its job is just to switch in on Greninja and then pivot out into as he switches in one of his walls, so that I can capitalize on that, because I don't think he's going to risk his win con or his huge breaker in Greninja. Next we have Custatberry Donphan. So this is probably designed as a lead, sort of, but not really. So rocks, I just want rocks because it's really hard to get chip on things like Infernape and Zapdos, because the only thing that naturally outspeeds Infernape and Greninja, because like you saw, not bringing max speed Diancie, so I can't really outspeed Infernape there. So also modest on Helios, so I can't really outspeed Infernape there either. So really need rocks up to get a consistent chip on Infernape and Greninja. Plus it helps whittle things down like Zapdos. Toxic knockoff EQ is kind of explanatory. Toxic, it's really nice for the Zapdos. Knockoff's just really nice in general EQ for stab. And lastly we have Colberberry Mesprit with Carmine, T-Bolt, Grass Knot, Psyshock. So this is, if he brings Weezing, it's free Mesprit every time. Get up a Carmine, and Dark Pulse is doing, I think, like 35% max through the Colbur. So probably I'm able to semi-lure the Greninja and hit it with a T-Bolt. This thing is also able to kind of lure in the Steelix, so after a +1 grass knot, I believe it's then in range in range of killing the then puts Steelix in range of a lot of things. So this set is it's solid, but it hasn't been doing that. It hasn't done that much in mocks, especially when they've brought Infernate. When they've brought Infernate, I've just sort of foddered this off, just so I can get some Flare Blitz recoil damage onto it. Because yeah, it's not easy switching in to Infernate. Luckily, I have Crobat to bluff the fire, or bluff the flying coverage or flying stab. I have Diancie as well to bluff being faster as well. So yeah, that's the team. Yeah, it's probably it's the best team that I could have brought, in my opinion. The other possibility was Spadef or defensive Drapion, but it just lost me too much momentum. Yeah, just I would have brought it over Donphan, and yeah, it just wasn't doing as much as I needed it to. So that is the team. That is a really long team builder, but I'll pause here and jump into the game. Alright guys, so we're back with the replay, the match. Just going over my team quickly. We got Nasty Plot, Crobat, Scarf, Chomp, Mix, Diancie, Calm Mind, Mesprit, Custard Berry, Lead, Donphan, and then the Heliolisk. So, looking at the team he brought, pretty cool team. A team that was pretty expected. Cool to see no Ramble, and good to see no Infernate. That was probably the biggest thing that had me celebrating. Looking at leads, I think in most cases Heliolisk is the best lead, simply because if he leads Greninja, that just puts too much. It just puts too much pressure on me. And if it leads Zapdos, I'm able to just Volt Switch out or T-Bolt it, Scout. It's set. He'd never lead Zam. Heliolisk is a nice lead versus the Vaporeon, and I could U-turn out versus the Steelix. Snorlax is probably the biggest problem. If I had a Heliolisk versus Snorlax lead, but I would probably just go into Donphan and Toxicate or something. But we lead Heliolisk, and as we see, he actually leads Greninja, so really nice start to that. I'm just going to click U-turn. No, I'm going to click Volt Switch because I'm ballsy, I guess, and just go straight into Diancie. Not fearing the speedy Zapdos or fearing Scarf either. So we see his leftovers, which is really nice. Last time he was Charty Berry, and part of Diancie's job is to get rid of Zapdos's Charty Berry, so that I can hit it harder with Garchomp's Stone Edge, and also to get off Earth Power damage on Steelix. So those are really its main two jobs. And I'm just going to click the Diamond Storm button here, because if I am able to get the defense raise from the Diamond Storm, then I'm able to take an EQ from Steelix and 2-hit KO it with the Earth Power. But sadly, we don't get the 50-50, which is okay. We just go into Donphan, which is kind of our dedicated switch into Steelix, and I'm just gonna throw up the rocks as he's going to go into Zapdos. This is okay. This just gives me a chance to knock him off or toxic him. I definitely would have clicked knock off if he was Charty Berry, just because it puts more pressure on his switch ins to Diancie. But we're going to toxic him as he clicks defog. So I'm just going to switch into Diancie here because the health on Diancie isn't that important. It is important if I want it to take an Earthquake from Steelix at +2, but I felt I felt like I need to play very aggressively, just so that I could, throw Nader off his rhythm and off his just sort of flow of switching, just easy switch-ins. So once again, I'm gonna click the Diamond Storm button as he actually goes into Snorlax, which is really nice. We see that he's actually going to sack his Snorlax, probably to an over prediction. Probably thought I would have gone for an Earth Power, predicting the Steelix, but I'm just going to click the Diamond Storm button because I still have a chance to live an Earthquake from Steelix. So and at that range, Snorlax dropped to a EQ from Garchomp. So I just felt like Diamond Storm was the overall best play. He's actually going to go into Greninja, and I get to show off AV Heliolisk, taking 40 from Life Orb Greninja, which is ridiculous. I'm going to go for the U-turn because, yeah, that Mega Steelix switch in is fairly obvious. And here I'm going to get up the rocks, as I believe he also gets up the rocks. And this is where I feel like I play too passively. I EQ here on the obvious switch into Zapdos. It was a play I debated, and I could have gone. I just felt like him clicking Heavy Slam had really no drawback. So that's why I clicked EQ, even though the switch into Zapdos was pretty obvious. But I felt like damage on Steelix to put it in range of Garchomp was higher priority than to, I guess, catch the Zapdos on the switch, because I'm actually able to get off the knockoff. But sadly, I am not in range of Custap, and we're just going to drop to a HP Ice, which is okay because it just doesn't allow him to roost. And he's at a nice health for me to once again drop in Diancie, and he's just going to let the Zapdos go down. So he sends in Alakazam. I'm just going to let it drop to the Energy Ball, because I didn't want to risk anything. The Heliolisk drops to a Psyshock, and Chomp would drop to 2 Psyshocks, I believe, or Dazzling Gleam. But at this stage, I feel like Diancie's job is done. I can use the other 3 Pokemon to whittle down the Steelix, because yeah, I just have to, I guess. But now I'm just going to go into Mesprit, because yeah, I wall it fairly easily, and going to click Calm Mind as he goes into the Vaporeon. So T-Bolt does 60, which is really nice, as he goes for Haze. And here I believe he's going to switch out as I go for the T-Bolt. So this was another play that I thought I would Carmined. I could have Carmined on his Wish, which is what I thought he was going to go for. T-Bolt was a roll to kill. Not sure about his investment, but it looked like a roll to kill. And I definitely think that was probably a misplay on my part. Having Vaporeon low like that would have allowed Chomp to sweep. So I definitely think clicking Carmine was the more optimal play, and also would have covered him switching into Mega Steelix, which he does here. So I'm just going to Carmine up in Mega Steelix's face, because hoping he just doesn't realize that I have something to hit it really hard with. He goes for Heavy Slam, so sacking off DNC proved to be the right call, as Heavy Slam would have annihilated me even at +4. And here I'm just going to go for the Grass Knot, as he decides to switch into Greninja, which is awesome because I'm able to take out the biggest threat to my team. This also means that Heliolisk is now just fodder, and Mesprit has just done amazing. It's taken out a good chunk of Vaporeon. It's killed this Greninja, and now he sends in Zam to revenge kill me, but clicks Energy Ball and I live. I was sacking Mesprit at this point, because I didn't feel like I needed it anymore. I could get Heat Wave damage off on Mega Steelix, as well as I can get lucky and hit a Focus Blast. So Mesprit tanks this Energy Ball, and I'm gonna get the T-Wave Para, and he's gonna forfeit. Yeah, the Para was definitely unfortunate, but at this point, Scarf Chomp basically cleans. I've damaged the Zam, I've damaged the Vaporeon, and Steelix can't OHKO me, even through Ice. Even if he has Ice Fang, I believe. Even if he killed me, even if I didn't get the Para, and he had killed Mesprit, I would have dropped in Scarf Chomp. He probably would have went into Vaporeon to sack it, and then gone into Steelix, and I just get off like 70% on Steelix, I believe. And then from that point on, the Crobat just finishes it with Heat Wave and Sludge Bomb. So I do believe I had the game in the bag, but yeah, Para on Zam definitely sealed it. Because actually, yeah, it just sealed it, and not a great way to end someone's season, but thankfully we move on to the next round, and we go up against Ace, our week 2 opponent, who we also have a terrible matchup against, even worse than last time, because now he has a Tapu Bulu and ground spam doesn't really work. But yeah, if you guys lasted this long, I commend you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to catch you guys next week.